Everyone, I am Ben Johnson, and this is the Perpetual Chess Podcast. Perpetual Chess is a weekly chess interview show where we talk with accomplished players, authors, content creators, and improvers about their lives, their careers, and about ways that you might be able to improve your own chess game. For more information, go to perpetualchesspod.com. But without further ado, let's get to the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Perpetual Chess. We are joined this week by a rising chess YouTube star. His channel is called Chess Vibes, and with 95K subs at the time of recording, it's been growing exponentially. Away from the board, our guest is a 34-year-old Texas-based dad. He's a USCF master who was the North Carolina representative at the prestigious Denker Tournament of State Champions in 2006, and he won that tournament. Spent some time away from chess, but then he launched his channel in September of 2020, and after a slow start, he's just seen rapid growth. He's got a very clear and relatable presentation style, and I can see why his channel has blown up, but I want to hear it from himself. So without further ado, let's welcome to the show Nelson Lopez, aka Chess Vibes. Nelson, how are you?
Good. Thank you, Ben. That's quite the introduction. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's quite the bit of success you've had, Nelson. So I just want to dive right in. We'll get to all the life chess chit chat later, but let's talk about your channel. So amazing success in a relatively short period of time. Do you have any operating theories? I mean, of course, your content is great, and I can give what I think are my own guesses, but what's your guess for why your channel has caught on when some others might be a little slower out of the gate, Nelson?
Yeah, good question. So
Good morning, grasshoppers. It's time for our usual routine with the daily training. Whew. UPenn 07, a rival and a half. He is +3. I have often suffered to UPenn 07 tactically. I can't quite imagine if this player is a young player. We're going to play very classically against him. Someone recently actually played, was it knight f6 against me here? Then queen a5 check. Queen takes f5, but I can't imagine giving up the bishop under those circumstances. Now, there's no reason, of course, to fear knight to e5 without the move h4 being thrown in. And now he's gotten it. The knight d7 probably was somewhat required. So he's not playing for e5. And it's very interesting. Not playing for e5. Wonder if I could have held out with my bishop on g6. Because I had knight takes h5, queen a5 check. Now then the bishop d2 would attack my queen, and I would need to recapture on this square. Knight f5, is this a threat? Is bishop takes e6 a threat? I'm curious. Let's get some random tunes on here for the most part. Something pleasant. How about something soft, classical? but not too loud. Is that really what you were all about? Changing my dark squared bishop? Hard to believe. I believe we'll be gaining time on that bishop with knight b6, knight d5 as well. Or is he just not going to get castled? There we go, as advertised. Knight takes f7. Knight takes c4. Bishop takes d6. Well, that's interesting. Do we keep it up? Or do we continue to... I mean, he still has this followed by bishop takes e6, so I don't think I have much of a choice here in the simplifying. Wow. I never get this lucky. What is going on? All right, moment of truth. He did expose one of my weaknesses. He takes f6. Good news about this particular move is that my pawn on e6 is like a rock. I'm a little worried about these two squares, though, for a knight to drop in. But I do have the e5 square covered to at least stop it for a moment. I thought. I really, really thought. Tactically today, it looks like I've got the better of him. Good morning, Hamzero. Apostolate, how are you? So now, do we keep it up? How do we keep it up? Knight f4. h5, queen to g5. Knight f4 seems too much. This move. Rook takes is somewhat forced. Are we really off to the races? Looks like we are. Mm-hmm. Getting away with it. Hopefully this is only a tentative. Oh my God. You'd think this is 3-0. Alright, so now he's +4 from a totally lost position. Maybe I need to use my touchscreen apostolate, right? Oh man. That one hurt. That really did. That hurt. But you can't have it all. We are in this dojo to become better at chess. We are not in this dojo to win 3+2 games. The purpose of playing a 3+2 game on a daily basis, just like Gadakamsky, as I knew him, you play in the game 30s to hone your openings. Aryan Raimpur, good morning. Alright, alright. For a tentative time, I'm going to stay with my D4 opening repertoire. I'm really tempted here. Play bishop f4. I really enjoy this position. But I'm going to go with Alekhine's recommendation, actually. Alekhine's recommendation was just this. Cannot be that good, actually. But we'll find out. I think an Alekhine's one encounter with this particular opening. This is how he experienced it. A trade of queens with an isolated pawn? Can't be all bad. Although my experience here, is he going to recapture with the knight? So my f2 square really is hanging, by the way. So we're going to have to prepare to defend it in one way or another. I'm going to keep probing his weaknesses to the best of our abilities. Can't believe how much time I spent on that game against UPenn to not be aware of the time. Very sad. Tips and tricks for getting better at chess. Well, not that difficult, honestly. When you're up in material, trade pieces. If you're not up in material, Can I recapture this way? Oh, he's threatening. Is he threatening to win my bishop? I want a rook on the 7th rank in any event. He can get a pawn back. If he would like one, he can have a pawn back. But I want to trade. Trade, trade, trade. Well, that's interesting. Just a momentary timeout. Wonder if we can set up a brief but disturbing mating net. This was all part of the plan. Threatening his rook, actually. Believe it or not, his rook looks trapped. But it's not really trapped. But it looks trapped. That's what counts. How much extra material do I have? I have 4 pawns to 2 on the king side of the board. Commonly, we divide the board geographically into king side, queen side. I do need to play this particular move. I would like to scare him. Just a little bit. What? Dudovich. Where do we go from here? King f6, g7. That's where we go from here. That wasn't what I was threatening. I was actually threatening this. Very lucky once again. Emma Guo, ladies and gentlemen. Emma Guo. WIM. Last played in the Olympiad. Can I get this one straight? This doesn't quite make sense. E6? Yeah. Go for it this way. Knight c3. Alright. We'll play this Caro-Kann. For what it's worth. Let's cripple those pawns just so that they can't come and get us. What is he threatening? Is he threatening my d5 square? I'm willing to leave this for just a moment. Do I want to play it this way? You're going to have to go away. Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. It appears to be safe now. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's not as safe as I thought. All right. Moment of truth. Interesting. We have more ideas where that came from. Oh, I can't do it that way? That's a bummer. That is a bummer. I have to switch around this way. Grr. Wise guy. Oh, did I have that? I also had that. Probably should have taken that first. Maybe not. Maybe I know where I'm going. Where are you headed? Still trying to get to C4. Is this another game that I'm going to lose on time? Because I'm not paying attention. Is it? It appears to be. Hmm. Seems to be all tied down. There's a variety of pieces. I only wanted to see this check through, by the way. Yes. 2 seconds. Battening down the hatches. Whoops. Do I want to go this way? Oh my God. Again. Good morning, Lauren JW. How are you? Losing games on time, hand over fist. I need Kleenex. I guess I'll get my Kleenex after this one. Tips and tricks. Frequently asked questions. Mulling over ideas for what to do out after. Tips and tricks. I have to check my schedule today as well. How are you doing, Lauren? How is your study schedule going? Trying to recall the last thing that you were doing. Bahimpour. Wow, he castled. Do we test the waters elsewhere as well? Wow, he at least knew that much. Well, he didn't know that much. He did not know that much. Interesting. I don't have much of a choice here. I mean, he could have taken that one already. Trying to threaten everything that he owns. Does his queen have a square, or did we just win his queen? That's very cruel. Very, very cruel. That one deserves to be clipped. It is quite funny. But I believe that 1900s play better than 2300s in general on every server, and in real life as well. I'll tell you the secret to that in a moment, just remind me. you do have one chance, and one chance only. Actually, you have more than one chance. I take that back. I do not know what I'm talking about. And now for something completely irrelevant. Can I just drop in here for a moment, please? I'm not castled. Bishop to there is threatened. So it is time to get castled. He may think about moving his knight. He may not. Mm-hmm. I'm not planning on getting outplayed here, but it could still happen. Save your tears for another day. Can I play that check or that check? Oh, you're trying to do that to me? Have at it, sir. Have at it. I do want to get rid of your dark squared bishop. Oh, hum. Just a tentative check. Oh no, did you really do that to me? Ah! Is there a safe square anywhere on the board? Did he just do that to me? Did you do that to me? Oh, did I choose the wrong one? I did sort of choose the wrong one. I did. Go ahead, make my day. I'm also going to ask you to save your tears for another day. Can we skewer him through? Yes, we can. How far up are you going? You're going all the way. That's cool. Oh no, he did this to me. I tell you, I played in one slow chess tournament this weekend, and I cannot play chess anymore. Fast. I cannot play fast chess anymore. Wow, that was amazing. Good job, Apostolette. Rock and roll. Congrats to Apostolette. So, many years ago, to complete the story on how 1900s play better chess than 2300s, when I was becoming a master, I noticed that the players that were rated around my level had a considerable amount of respect for their peers, and they would play in such a way that understood my goals and so forth. So they would actually play better chess with better attention addressing to my particular nuances than 2300. So when I became a master, I could actually just play good solid chess and I would beat 2300s and above, or 2300s, because they would take risks and they would play erratically, often to try to beat me because they felt obligated to play for the win. However, the players that are around your rating know how much. Yes, I know, I'm giving you a serious reply as well. And the players around you know how much you might make a mistake, give or take this, that, or the other thing, or the types of mistakes that you might try to fall for. So therefore, your peers and the players within 100 rating points above you are the far more difficult. Now let's take it to a billiards perspective. Pool and billiards. I remember when I was a D player and a D plus player, I had incredible difficulties against my peers and the players just above me. Whereas the risks that stronger players would take, the game that stronger players would play, I'm not talking about pros. They're super solid all the way through. We're not talking about grandmasters. We're not talking about 24 and 2500s. You're talking about 2300s, the guys that are just above you, but not far enough above you. But there's something strange in their mind that thinks that they can just crush you. Therefore, they play differently than they would against another 2300 rated player. And therefore, this is exactly the sports psychology part of it all. And therefore, you are going to get opportunities against players that feel that they are in a must-win situation. Yeah, he feels like he has to crush you. He cannot draw you. If you play a good, solid game, he actually has to do it. And that's true incrementally all the way up. It's why Magnus Carlsen loses to a 2500 in the Olympiad, right? Magnus Carlsen loses to a 2500 in the Olympiad, and everybody's, ooh, you know, Magnus isn't that good. But the guy, he has to play for a win. So yeah, he cannot, you know, just play his normal game. He actually has to play a slightly more dynamic game. And obviously, I hope that was not too long to not be clippable, but in general, this applies all the way up. So to finish the billiards analogy, just to wrap that one up, I remember the first week that I got raised from a D+, so you got your A, B's, C's, and D's, right? Above A, there's Open and Pro. Think of Open and Pro as like International Master and Grandmaster. You got your Open players, they're not quite professional players yet. The Pro players, they're Grandmasters. You got your strong Grandmasters, you got your weak Grandmasters, but they're pros nonetheless. You got your A, B's, C's, and D's, and the week that I got raised to a C, all the people that I used to be able to beat in the C plus and B category were now playing like gods against me. They showed me so much respect that I could no longer, I lost like 7 weeks in a row against people that I used to beat all the time when I was a D plus. And I'm like, is this really happening? Am I playing that badly? No, my opponents actually have changed their perception of me as a player, so that therefore they have to do something differently, and I hadn't adjusted to what they were doing differently. And it happens in chess, and it happens in other sports too. Yes, it does happen the other way around. In fact, when I have strong players, let's say I have an A player or an open player complaining about a C player or D player's handicap, oh, this guy's much better than his handicap. I'm like, the guy already lost when he went to the table. All he has to do is play his best possible game, and he's going to lose anyway. And here you are screwing up against him, trying to beat him. Right? They're screwing up against him, trying to beat him. And then they're complaining about that guy's handicap when they're not living up to theirs. And it happens every week. Every week, somewhere, with any particular sport, all the time. It happens with professional teams when they're playing somebody that's at the bottom of the table. There can be an upset. They can take it lightly. Absolutely. No, it's a perception thing. It's not necessarily so, matter of fact, and it's not necessarily, it's your experience versus your opponent's. That is your entire world. And that is exactly how you see things. And then if you put yourself into someone else, they see things, they're like, what the heck are you talking about? Right? But as a relatively experienced coach for so many decades, I've seen it all the way up. And believe it or not, I've had parents tell me that I'm totally full of BS. I've had parents tell me, well, I would like to speak to a real sports psychologist to get the real story. I'm like, what do you mean a real sports psychologist? What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that you really don't believe this and you're paying me to coach / train your son? And we got him from, like 0 to 1700, right? Got him to 0 to 1700 in a matter of 2 to 3 years. It's not a big deal if he has to deal with, or if he has to overcome certain psychological hurdles in the game that are not technically chess related. And this happens all the time. That's right, Apostolate. I know Apostolate said this before about zerking certain guys. It absolutely does happen that way. Unfortunately, you're right on the money. Their perception is totally different. Isn't that crazy, though? It is crazy, yeah? But it's not necessarily untrue for either of you. You're both correct in your own way. Drunken Heart Streamer, how are you? I think the link ban is still on, yes. I haven't gotten to Streamlab because I had to run out yesterday and get to billiards. Yes, you did. With any periods. she was timed out for 5 minutes for anointing us with an opening name. I think now that you remember it, I have been timed out. I did exactly the same thing, Lauren. You're absolutely right. I don't remember the streamer, but I did exactly the same thing. It was someone who was inconsequential for the most part, as far as, having to get my point across. Interestingly enough, if someone untimes out you, it doesn't restore your messages, which is too bad on the whole. The Drunken Heart Streamer. Where are you from? Actually, I have a new way of handling the what? What do you mean you're using that S word rather heavily there? I don't believe that S word applies in all circumstances. Where is my Streamlabs? Did I close it? I accidentally